Hello everyone, thanks for joining us today for our fundraiser. My name is Ali, for those of you who don't know me. I'm practicing from Milan, Italy, and I would invite you, if it feels right, to write in the comments section where you are practicing from in the world. If you would like to also include your name, any message that feels right, and this, I think, just gives us a sense of community. Once again, of course, this is a recorded class, and I'm recording it in one moment and you're practicing in another, but I want you to really think about this connection that we do share in this practice together. And even if we are many miles apart or nearby, this connection of community and the ability of a group to have power to make a change and make a difference. And that's really why we're coming together in this space anyway, is to create a feeling of unity around the world, uniting for the cause and uniting for these funds that we are raising together for Save the Children. And so if you would like, please comment, and I think it will give us all a sense of connection. And before we begin, I would invite you to set up your space. Set up a space that is free of any disturbances. Maybe put your phone on silent, or even I've shared a playlist and some songs that you may want to play during your practice, if that is something that you prefer, or if it's something that enriches your practice. Otherwise, grab your mat and a pair of blocks if you have them. If you don't have yoga blocks, no problem. You can probably grab one of a thick book. I tend to think that Harry Potter books work pretty well if you don't have the yoga blocks. So grab 2 or 3 blocks just in case. In some positions, it may facilitate the pose and just make you feel like you're able to bring the ground up towards you, and it just makes things a little bit more comfortable depending on your body composition and your level of practice. So get yourself ready with those things. Maybe you decide to light a candle, maybe you want to kind of set the mood and create this space for yourself. And once you've done that, I would invite you to come to your mat and find a comfortable cross-legged seat. We will be doing a very peaceful vinyasa flow that will probably last around 60 minutes. I would say that it's about a medium energy level. It's not a power yoga flow, but it's also not really a super slow flow. So somewhere in the middle. And I would invite you, as you practice, to come into this moment and really let yourself feel as if you were a conduit of peaceful energy. So bringing that idea of peaceful energy flowing through you as we move through the positions, which can be kind of tough because sometimes we're not so comfortable and we don't feel like this peaceful, fluid, beautiful shape. But trying to even just keep that thought only in our minds during the practice, and then seeing if that changes the way that you're moving, or with how it can change your awareness in your practice. So once you've come to your comfortable seat, set up your space, we'll begin to close our eyes, allowing our hands to come to our knees or to rest gently in our laps. And then we bring our attention to our breath. We begin by inhaling and exhaling only through the nose. And we will continue inhaling and exhaling through the nose through the entire practice. So beginning to sink into your breath. As you inhale, allow your spine to lengthen Your sternum begins to lift up towards the sky. The neck elongates. The crown of the head reaches up. And on your exhale, let all tension go. Allow your shoulders to sink down far away from your ears. Shoulder blades come to rest on your back. You feel the weight of your pelvis sinking down, feeling the strong foundation beneath you. Inhaling, expanding and reaching. Exhaling, releasing and rooting. Taking a few breaths here. Maybe you begin to count your inhale, and then using the same number of counts, apply that to your exhale so that you're breathing even inhales and exhales with the same number of counts. Taking a moment here to allow yourself to notice any sensations, any thoughts that are coming up. And with each exhale, let them go. Coming to the here and now. Being aware of this moment. And then, as we begin our practice today, I would like to begin by chanting the peace mantra of Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. If you know it, feel free to sing along. Otherwise, just stay and listen. As you inhale, bring your hands to heart center, palms pressing together. We feel the warmth of our palms and our fingers as they press against one another. Inhaling together and exhaling to let this one go. Inhale to Om. Namaste. Slowly we blink our eyes open and we transition through tabletop position. And to begin our practice, we bring our big toes together. Knees are slightly separated, and we slowly send our hips back towards our heels. Forehead comes to rest on the mat. Our arms and elbows and forearms are lifted off the mat while our palms press into the mat. If you'd like, you may place a block underneath your forehead if this feels like too intense of a stretch. But if you feel comfortable, let the weight of your forehead sink down onto your mat. Let all tension slip away. Come to notice the gentle pressure of your mat on your third eye, the space between your eyebrows. Maybe you close your eyes once more and send your gaze inward. We begin this practice bowing down.
slowly in your own time. Blink your eyes open if you have closed them. And slowly shifting your weight into your hands to come up through tabletop position. Tucking your toes under and checking that your hands are in line with your shoulders and that your knees are directly underneath your hips. From tabletop position, we press through our hands, and on our inhale, we begin to draw our bellies down towards the mat. Chest lifts as the heart opens towards the front of your mat. Head rises, and on your exhale, starting at the tailbone, we start to tuck the tailbone down as we curve through the spine, allowing the crown of our head to come towards our mat. Inhale, starting at the tailbone, we begin to arch through the spine. The chest and heart glide forward. Exhale, curving. Take a few more rounds of cat-cow at your own pace. Perhaps you feel that going really slow and feeling each vertebrae is where you're at today. Or moving a little bit more quickly. Being mindful to pair the breath with the movement. Wherever you are, take one more round. And then slowly we meet again in tabletop position. From here, we'll bring our left hand just a little bit closer to center. As we inhale, right arm comes all the way up. As we twist towards the right arm reaching up towards the sky. Our hips stay in the same position. And exhaling, right arm comes down. Right hand replaces our left hand on the mat. And as we inhale, left arm slowly reaches up towards the sky as we twist towards the left. Exhale, left hand comes back to the mat. Inhaling, right arm reaches up. Allowing yourself to really notice the stretch in the side body. Exhale, release. Inhale, left arm up and overhead. Exhale, left hand comes back to the mat, and one more on each side. Inhaling, we reach our right arm up and overhead. Being sure to not collapse into our shoulder, but to really support ourselves. Exhale, right hand comes back down to the mat. And inhaling, we go to the left. On your next exhale, release, coming back through center. And slowly, we'll walk our hands out in front of us and allow our hands to sink down towards the mat. Trying to imagine that we're coming into a downward facing dog, but with our knees on the ground. So really imagining that your spine is lengthening from your hands, through your arms, through your spine, all the way back to your hips. One long, continuous line. Not trying to arch through the spine at the moment, but to really keep this pose active, activating our cores, to keep our backs really, really, really straight and long and extended. Our belly draws towards our spine as we engage. One more breath here. And as you inhale, slowly press through your hands, walking your hands back underneath your shoulders. And we'll begin by extending on our next inhale, our right arm out in front of us. a left leg comes back behind us, creating a continuum of energy from our right fingertips to the left toes as they extend from front to back, creating a beautiful straight line of energy from top to bottom. Staying here for one more breath. Then on the exhale, bending at the elbow and the knee. Elbow, knee come together to touch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Release everything on this side. Take a moment to notice any sensations that are coming up in your body. Take one more breath here. And on your next inhale, we extend the left arm out long. Right leg comes back. Once again, searching for this line from our fingertips of our left hand all the way back to our right toes. Feeling the energy come out of our left fingertips. Feeling the energy extend back through our right toes. Staying here for 2 more breaths. Inhale. And on the exhale, curving through the spine, bringing elbow to the knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, compress and curve. Elbow to knee. Inhale, extend and reach. Exhale, curve and compress. And then release. Taking another breath. In tabletop, noticing the sensations. And then, as you please, find some very free movements, perhaps from right to left, maybe looking back at one foot and then the other, perhaps finding some very free movements in cat-cow. Let your body decide what kind of movements you need today. And since this is a practice in the safety of your own home, no one is watching, really allow yourself to follow your intuition and see what kind of movements come up. And then from here, coming back through center, tucking our toes under really well. On the next exhale, we press our hips up and back into our first downward facing dog. I would invite you to keep a generous bend in the knees and then begin to pedal it out, walking it out in your dog, allowing to bend through one knee and then the other, perhaps allowing one heel at a time to come down towards your mat. Allowing these movements to be sweet and nourishing, not forceful or controlling. Perhaps you send both heels towards the left or to the right, finding any organic movement that allows you to really come into this position. And then we'll find stillness. With each inhale, press your hands into the mat as if you would like to press your mat away from you, allowing your hips to come up and back. And on the exhale, see if you can sink a little bit deeper into your heels. Feel free once again to always keep a generous bend in the knees, as our main goal here is to keep our spines long, not necessarily to straighten our legs or to have our heels on the ground. And then on your next inhale, shift your weight forward to look forward. And on your exhale, take baby steps up to let your feet come all the way between your hands. From here, bend generously through the knees. See if you can bring your belly towards your thighs as we fold forward in Uttanasana. Perhaps keeping a very generous bend in the knees. Fingertips may stay on the mat, or perhaps you clasp your elbows with your hands, allowing yourself to really let your head come down, relaxing through the back of the neck. Feeling how this activates the backs of your legs. Maybe rocking from left to right. And then releasing your fingertips back down to the mat. As we inhale, we press into our feet, engage our glutes, and slowly begin to rise up one vertebrae at a time. Our head is the last to rise. Then reaching our arms up and overhead. Extend our fingertips up towards the sky, stretching up as much as we can. And then exhale. Hands come through heart center. We will be going through a couple of sun salutations. So feel free in the chaturanga to take the modification if it's not in your practice to do full chaturanga, or if you would like to take a less intense variation, choose what's best for you today. Inhaling, we reach our arms up and overhead. Exhaling, hinging forward from the hips. We fold slowly down into Uttanasana. Once again, bending the knees if necessary. Inhale, hands come to shins or to our thighs, hugging our elbows to our body to find elongation through the spine. Collarbones are wide, halfway lift. Exhale, folding forward, hands come to the mat. Exhale, stepping back into plank. Option here to lower the knees to the mat. Otherwise, keeping the knees raised. We inhale, shift our weight forward. Exhale, slowly lower to chaturanga. Untuck the toes. Inhale, shoulders come up to the ears and then down on the spine as we rise into cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes under and send the hips up and back into downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. On the next inhale, shift your weight to look forward, and exhale, baby steps to bring your feet in between your hands at the top of your mat. Bending through the knees, create this belly to thigh connection as you fold forward. Letting go, releasing through the back of the neck. Crown of the head comes down towards the mat. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. Spine is long, neck is a continuation of our spine. Gaze is slightly in front of our mats. And exhaling, folding forward once more. Inhale, pressing into your feet, engaging the glutes, and slowly rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Inhaling all the way up to reach your hands up. And exhale, hands come through heart center. Right away, we keep going. Inhale, arms come up and overhead. Exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward. Inhale, your version of halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into plank. Option knees down. Inhale, shift the weight forward. Exhale, bending at the elbows, slowly lowering into chaturanga. Untucking the toes, we inhale, shoulders come up to the ears and down the spine, cobra. Exhale, toes tuck under as we send our hips up and back into downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. On your next inhale, left leg comes up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to chest as we step our left foot in between our hands. We'll bring our back foot to about a 45-degree angle. And as we inhale, we rise up. Warrior two. Front knee is stacked over front ankle. Torso faces the side wall as our arms extend wide. Our gaze goes over our middle finger of our left hand. The neck is soft, and you can always take a little bit less of a bend in the knee to facilitate the posture for yourself today. You don't have to be sinking in as deep as possible. Go where it feels good today. And from here, maybe having your block handy, we'll go into triangle pose. So from here, straightening through the front leg, and actually trying to actively make the action that the right glute goes back. So from here in the center, send your hip back. And on your inhale, reach forward, reach forward, reach forward with your left fingertips. And exhale, your hand may come to the block. Maybe it comes to your shin or your ankle or to the mat. And on the inhale, reach your right arm overhead. Really being wary not to hyperextend through your front leg, but allow a micro bend. No, there should be no pain behind the knee. Gaze can go up towards your right thumb or stay towards the mat, whichever you prefer. Noticing this extension through the right side body. One more breath here. Bending generously through the front knee. We bring our fingertips down to the mat, moving our block away if we're using our block, and then stepping back into plank and exhaling into downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. On your next inhale, right leg comes up and back into three-legged dog. And on your exhale, bringing your knee towards your chest to step through. Right foot comes in between your hands. Back foot goes out to about a 45-degree angle once again. And inhaling, slowly we rise to warrior two. Once again, being mindful to keep our front knee stacked over our front ankle. Arms extend from our shoulders. Gaze is soft towards the right fingertips. Back leg is straight and strong. And from here, we'll straighten through our front leg, maybe shortening our stance a little bit. And once again, grabbing our block if we're using it. And then extending once again through our arms, we allow our hip to send itself back towards the back of the mat, really feeling that unlocking action in our pelvis. And then on our next inhale, we reach forward, reaching through the front fingertips. And then exhaling, hand comes to your block or to your ankle, your shin. And left arm goes up and overhead. So we find triangle on the opposite side. Once again, the gaze can go upward towards our left hand or maybe stays down towards our mat, depending on what's comfortable for your neck. Once again, the aim of this posture is to really feel this opening and extended feeling through your left side body. Being wary again to keep a micro bend through the front leg. One more breath here. And exhaling, bending through our front knee. Bringing our fingertips down to the mat, moving our block away if we used it. Stepping back into plank and exhaling to downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. On your next inhale, shift your weight forward to look forward, and exhale, baby steps, once again, to the top of your mat. Inhale, hands come to the shins or to the thighs, halfway lift. Collarbones are wide, the spine is long. On your next exhale, bring your belly towards your thigh as you fold forward, releasing the back of your neck. Maybe you play around with shifting your weight to see if you have your weight completely in your heels or completely in the balls of your feet. And then once again, pressing into our foundation, activating the glutes. Inhaling, we slowly rise up, rolling one vertebrae at a time. Arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, hands come through heart center. And then releasing our arms to the sides of our body into Tadasana. From here, we'll shift our weight into our left foot, bringing our right knee to our chest, taking a moment to see how our balance is today. And then on our next exhale, taking a medium step back. So for example, if you were here in triangle, we want to close that stance quite a bit, having a shorter separation between our feet. Our back foot, once again, is towards the side of the mat at about a 45-degree angle. If you're using your blocks, bring them to the outer edges of your feet, of your front foot. And from here, I would invite you to bring your hands to your hips, to notice if your hips are facing the side, to really actively bring them so that the hips are facing forward and that they are square. From here, we begin to inhale to find length through our spine. And with our hands on our hips, with the next exhale, we begin to hinge forward, feeling that the action is coming from our hips. Starting to feel the activation of the front leg. And then from here, allowing yourself to bring your hands to the blocks or perhaps to rest on your shin. Keeping your spine straight if possible as we come into pyramid. Once again, be mindful. Don't hyperextend through that leg. Allow micro bend. And then imagine as if your left hip was pulling back and your right hip was pushing forward to keep your pelvis really square. If this is already pretty intense, you can stay here. Or if you have a little bit more space, as you exhale, see if you can fold forward towards that front leg, allowing your head to relax down. Maybe your nose comes towards your knee. If you feel comfortable, you can walk your blocks out a little bit further in front of you. And really allow this deep stretch through the back of your left leg. Once again, this feeling shouldn't be pain. Maybe it's a little bit discomfort, but never pain. We're very mindful of all of our movements today. And if you've extended, we bring our blocks back, coming back to a flat back position. And as we bend through our front knee, we allow ourselves to step back up very slowly, bringing our feet in line with each other, bending through our knees, and as we exhale, we fold forward into Uttanasana. As we fold here, we notice any sensations or differences in feelings between our left and our right leg. Inhale, hands come to the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, release and fold forward. Inhale, pressing into our foundation, squeeze in our glutes here, rise all the way up, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, hands come to your heart center, and then release to our sides. This time, shifting our weight into our right foot, and bring our left knee up towards our bellies, seeing how our balance is on this side. And then on your next inhale, taking a medium step back once again. Back foot is at a 45-degree angle. Hands come to the hips. We notice our pelvis placement by using our hands to really see if we can get our hips square, facing forward. And from here, we begin to find length through our backs, through our necks. And using our hands, as we exhale, we feel that we are hinging forward from the hips. And once you've gotten to your maximum point, feel free to release your hands to the blocks for support, or perhaps they rest on your shins. Micro bend through the front knee. Notice if you feel any different sensations between one side or the other. Maybe you notice that your legs are very different with regards to flexibility on one side and the other. And if you feel like you need to, you can always bend a little bit more through your knee. Seeing if you can imagine the action of your right hip pressing back and your left hip pressing forward to keep your hips level and square. And once again, if you have a little bit more space in this posture, feel free to begin to fold forward with your exhales, allowing your nose to come down towards your front leg. Maybe you walk your blocks out in front of you. Choose the option that's best for you, and it might not be the exact same on this side as it was for the other. Maybe you have more room, maybe you have less room. But listen to your body. And wherever you are, slowly make your way to a half lift position, so straight back. And then begin to bend through your front leg and slowly and mindfully step that left foot back up to meet your right. Moving your blocks off to the side, feet are hip distance apart and parallel. And allow yourself to just bend through one knee and the next. And from here, we'll bring a block or a book directly in front of us, right in the center. And we'll place our left hand on this block. Bending through our left knee, we reach our right arm up and overhead. On the exhale, our right hand comes to the block, our right knee bends generously. And as we inhale, our left arm comes up and overhead. Gentle twists. On your next exhale, come through center. And we'll do a few more of these on each side. Now, with each movement, we'll combine the breath. So bend through the left knee, inhale, right arm reaches up overhead. Exhale, bending through the right knee, straightening through the left, right hand comes to the block. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, bend through the left knee, extend through the right. Inhale, right arm comes up. Do a few more of these movements at your own pace. One more round wherever you're at. And slowly then we'll meet in the center, moving our block away, bending through our knees, creating that belly to thigh compression. We come into our forward fold once more. Maybe we start to notice that we have a little bit more space through the backs of our legs in order to extend a little bit more, or perhaps not. We remain comfortable with our bent knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands come to the shins. Exhale. We plant the palms, stepping back into plank. Knees come to the mat. And on our next exhale, slowly, slowly bending through our elbows. We lower down to our bellies. From here, untuck your toes and really actively walk your feet back. This will create space through the pelvis and through the lower back as we prepare to move through Cobra. So our hands are underneath our shoulders. And as we inhale, we allow our shoulders to come up towards our ears and then melting down to our backs. Pelvis remains on the mat, and you can always bend a little bit less through your, you can bend a little bit more through your elbows if your pelvis, if here you're coming off the mat, or if it's really too much for your lower back, you can always take a baby cobra, allowing a generous bend through the elbows, pressing through the backs of your feet. And then exhaling, we release. If cobra or baby cobra is still too intense for your lower back, feel free to place your elbows underneath your shoulders and coming into Sphinx pose. This is a great option if cobra or baby cobra is just not available for you today. Listen to the space in the lower back, the lumbar spine. If you feel any tension or crunching or pressure, then choose a different variation that will work for you today. And if you've chosen Sphinx, then I would ask you just to remain here. And if you are able to practice with Cobra or Baby Cobra, we will be doing a series of going up and down through Cobra with our breath. So bringing our hands back underneath our shoulders. As we inhale, we rise up. Exhale, slowly lower. Forehead comes to the mat. Inhale, rising up to Cobra. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, rise up. Be wary to keep the back of your neck extended and not crunched back. Exhale, fold forward. Forehead comes to the mat. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, forehead to the mat. One more time. Inhale to rise up. And here we'll stay for 3 breaths, whatever modification you've chosen. Allowing your shoulders to melt away from your ears. The backs of your feet are pressing strongly into your mat. And on your next exhale, release everything down. Bring your hands underneath your forehead. Lift your feet so that the soles of your feet face the sky, and gently windshield wiper your legs from right to left. Releasing through the hips, moving through the lower back. And when you're ready, we'll keep our feet facing up towards the sky, And if you feel comfortable, we'll begin by seeing if we can find our feet with our hands as we go towards bow. So first of all, just coming into this position and seeing if it's possible, and noticing if we're really allowing our legs to splay apart, and then try to bring them together, keeping our thighs parallel. And as we inhale, slowly allowing ourselves to open up into bow pose. The feet rise, our chest lifts off the mat. We continue to breathe here, trying to keep hugging through the midline through both of our legs. One more breath here. Exhale, release. Releasing everything back down onto the mat. Hands come underneath the forehead once more. Finding some movement through the hips. And then from here, we'll press back. Big toes come together. Knees slightly separate. Sending our hips back to our heels. Allowing our foreheads to rest on the mat. Taking a moment to rest in child's pose. Notice your breath. Come back to that even inhale and even exhale. And then slowly coming back through tabletop position, tucking the toes under. Inhale and exhale, sending our hips up and back into downward facing dog. From here, we inhale, right leg comes up. Exhale, bending through the right knee. We place our right knee behind our right wrist. Sending our left leg back, releasing it to the mat. Coming into pigeon. So this is another position that may be quite uncomfortable for some people. One modification is to place a block underneath your right glute to give you the support in the position so that you aren't crashing down and sitting on the side. And if this is too intense for knees or any other reason, you can always take this into a more passive position that you may find more comfortable, coming onto your back and bringing your right ankle over your left knee and finding the supine figure four. I would invite you to really listen to yourself. If this feels better for today, come into this position. Otherwise, if you feel comfortable in pigeon, feel free to stay there. And taking a moment to set yourself up once again, finding length through the spine, and then exhaling, maybe folding forward, coming onto your forearms, or perhaps if you have a lot more space, you can bring your forehead down onto the mat, extending your arms in front of you. Staying here for 3 more breaths. Allowing your breaths to start to slow down. Sending your breath to that right hip joint. Feeling the deep stretch. One more breath here. And as you inhale, slowly press back up. And if you've come to the supine figure four, feel free to release your right foot and then bring your right foot down to the mat and cross your left foot over your right knee to go on the opposite side. If you're in pigeon, we'll press our hands into the mat, tuck the back toes under, step back to plank, and exhale to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, left foot comes up and back, three-legged dog. And exhaling, we bring our left knee behind our left wrist. Our right leg releases, our toes untuck. Once again, perhaps we use a block underneath our glute to keep us supported in this posture. And for a moment, we find length through our spine. And then exhaling, we find our same variation that we did on the opposite side, perhaps coming to our forearms or reaching forward, allowing our forehead to come onto the mat. Taking 5 deep and long breaths here. And then slowly, we walk our fingers back underneath our shoulders, rising up. If you're in supine figure 4, slowly make your way to a seated position. If you're in pigeon, allow for your left glute to gently rest onto the mat and slowly swinging that right leg up in front. We'll meet with our legs extended long in front of us in Tadasana. Take a moment to shake your legs out. Let everything go. And from here, we'll bring bending through our right knee, bringing the right sole of our feet to the inner left thigh. From here, we would like to notice that as we extend up through our spine, that we're also allowing our sternum to face just a little bit towards the left. So as we inhale, we find length, and exhale, we slowly fold forward towards our left leg. Perhaps we arrive to rest our hands on our shins or our ankles, or perhaps we can interlace our fingers behind our foot. With each exhale, we relax and allow our nose to come towards our knee. Please feel free to bend through the front leg if you feel a lot of pressure or too much extension. Once again, we want to feel a deep stretch, but within the limits to be able to stay here comfortably. Notice if with each exhale you have a little bit more space to go a little bit deeper. And as you inhale, bring your hands back in line with your shoulders and slowly peel upward. Extend your right leg out long, and we'll go on the opposite side, bringing our left sole of our foot to the inner right thigh. Once again, as we inhale, we find length, and we turn ourselves just a little bit to have our sternum that's pointing a little bit towards the right. Inhale, arms reach up and overhead, finding length. And exhale, we begin to slowly fold forward over our extended leg. Fingertips are reaching. Maybe they come to the shins, the ankle, or interlace behind your foot. Wherever you're at, allow yourself to sink deeper into this forward fold. With every exhale, with every inhale, find some length through your spine, and every exhale, release. Nice. Inhale. Fingertips come back towards your body.
And you rise up. Extending both legs out long in front of us. And then allowing ourselves to scoot our weight a little bit forward, bending through our knees, grabbing behind our knees, and slowly, slowly, one vertebrae at a time, we allow ourselves to come onto our backs, hugging our knees into our chest. From here, we hug our knees, finding a gentle rocking movement from left to right. And then finding stillness in the center. We extend our arms out long from our shoulders to create a T with our shoulders. And then slowly we allow our legs to fall towards the left in our supine twist. Being mindful to keep both shoulders on our mat. Maybe our gaze goes towards our right hand. Our neck is a continuation of the twist. We invite you to close your eyes. If you need to, you can always place a block underneath your knees or in between your knees. If that allows you to relax and stop holding any tension that you may have in your legs. If you've sent your gaze towards the right, bring your head back through center. And as you inhale, bring your legs back through center as well. And on your next exhale, allow your knees to fall towards the right. Being mindful once again of both of your shoulders, letting them rest firmly on the mat. If you need a block underneath your right knee or in between your knees, go ahead. And then feel free to send your gaze towards the left. The neck is soft. With each exhale, you release and relax. If your gaze is towards the left, bring your head back through center. And as you inhale, peel your knees off the mat and come back through center. Hug your knees. One more time, rocking gently from left to right. Then allowing your feet to come onto your mat. Bringing your feet about mat distance apart. Maybe your toes point off of your mat. And then your hands come to your belly or rest on your hips. And you allow your feet to windshield wiper back and forth from left to right. Maybe your head goes in the opposite direction of your knees. And then stopping in center. Taking a moment to notice how you feel before we head into Shavasana. I'd invite you to extend your legs out long. Arms are long beside your body. Palms face up towards the sky. Allow your shoulder blades to really settle down onto the mat. Allow your pelvis to reset in the center. Any fidgeting movements that allow you to come to a place where you feel entirely comfortable. Feel free to grab a blanket or to put on a sweatshirt. And then come back into this moment of stillness. This moment where we reap the benefits of our practice. Our palms are facing up towards the sky. We receive the benefits. We receive the nourishment. We receive the peaceful energy that we have created today. Staying here in this present moment, we send our gaze up towards our third eye. We allow our mind to be free and clear. If any thoughts come up, we let them go without judgment. We let them go as if they were passing clouds. And we come back to the here and now. Take a moment to notice your feet. Tense your feet and grasp through your feet for one moment, and then release all the tension and relax your feet. Notice your legs. Take a moment to tense and clench through all of the muscles in your legs, and then release. Clench through your glutes, feel the strength in your muscles, and then release and let them melt into the mat. Bring your shoulders up towards your ears and really, really tense through your shoulders. And an exhale, release, allowing your shoulders to fall away, heavy on your mat. Tense through all of the muscles in your face, the space between your eyebrows, scrunch your nose and tense your jaw. And on the exhale, release everything and feel the softness. Notice your arms and your wrists and your hands. Tense through your hands, make your fists and hands into a fist. Tense through all of the muscles of your arms, and then on the exhale, release. And feel how your body softens. Feel how good it feels to let go. With each inhale and exhale, we release tension. We release what we're holding on to. Maybe it's physical tension in our muscles, or maybe it's something that we're holding on to inside us emotionally. In this space, we are safe to let it go. Whatever doesn't serve us, with the exhale, we let it go. Taking a few more moments here. Beginning to become aware of your breath. Noticing the air that enters through your nostrils, fills your lungs. And as your lungs fill with this oxygen-rich air, our chest rises and expands. And on the exhale, our bellies fall, our chest softens as the air comes back out through our lungs and out through our nostrils. Notice this fluid and continuous motion of the rise and the fall, the inhale and the exhale. Slowly we begin to become aware of our surroundings. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin. Perhaps you notice any sounds in your environment, any smells, any sensations at all. And very, very slowly we begin to move our fingertips and our toes. Perhaps rolling our wrists and our ankles. Moving our head gently from left to right. And then I would invite you to extend your arms overhead. And on the inhale, full body stretch, tensing every muscle in your body, inhaling. And the exhale, release everything, exhaling through the mouth. One more together. Inhale through the nose, full body stretch. Exhale through the mouth. Relax everything. And slowly in your own time, bring your knees to your chest. Hug your knees. Find a gentle rocking movement if you'd like. And then slowly rock and roll onto one side, whichever side feels right for you. And slowly in your own time, make your way back up to seated. Moving as gracefully and mindfully as possible, keeping your eyes closed. Coming back to a comfortable seated position. Hands come to rest on the knees. Together we repeat, I am a channel of loving, peaceful energy. In my thoughts, my words, my actions, I am peaceful. One more time. I am a channel of loving, peaceful energy. In my thoughts, my words, my actions, I am peaceful. Bringing our hands to heart center, we press our hands together. Thank you for joining in today's practice. May the funds that we raise help those in need. May we take this peaceful energy with us off of our mats and into the world. Once again, feel free to repeat after me. May all beings be safe. May all beings be free. May all beings find joy in life. And we bow our head in reverence, and we say together, Namaste. Slowly allow yourself to blink your eyes back open, coming back to your surroundings. Thank you everyone for joining, and once again, it was a pleasure to practice with you. Namaste.